Alrighty guys, hello and welcome back to the show. So today I'm doing a quick replay review. It's one of my replays. I figured as I was playing this game, I thought that there were some things that some people could potentially learn from on this particular replay. So this is what is this? This is an 8v8, that's right. That's going down on a map, so the Neuroxis map generator. I was playing this game with Geneva Convention's stack, super chill group of guys. You guys have not run it if you guys haven't met him or run into that particular stack. And on this map, and I'm gonna actually bump the speed up just a little bit here while we introduce everything. So on this map, this is a little bit of a unique map. You've got your front line here, mirrored on both sides, and then you have your air player, obviously. So in this case, we have Hot Soup, who is playing air for team number 1. Hot Soup, incidentally, super chill dude, does stream on Twitch. I'll link his stream or his Twitch down in the description below if you guys are interested, but really nice guy, super fun to play with. And then we have Big Bang playing air for our team. But that leaves this kind of middle band with players like Geneva Convention as well as myself, where it's not 100% clear, what you do in this particular position on the map, because you don't really want to, crank out a bunch of spam because it's going to take your units longer to get to the front. It's going to be harder to micro. And you also don't want to really be a dedicated air player because you could potentially leave your front players out to dry. So what I wanted to talk about here is the kind of roles within each map and how to read your role in a particular position. So if you're on the front line, like these 4 players on either side that I'm circling here with my mouse, your primary goal is to not die and kill your mirror as quickly as you can, is how I interpret it. You do want to be helping out your teammates to either side of you, but your primary goal is really to secure your particular lane and make life terrible for the guy opposite you as much as you can. If you are not on the front line, your goal is to keep other players alive, is the way that I interpret this. So if you're either myself or Big Bang or Hot Soup or Geneva in this particular map, your goal is to ensure that your front line stays alive as long as possible and allows you to, hit back potentially in tech. So I'm going to talk about what I did in this particular game. The first thing that I did was I walked my commander forward. Now this is a huge advantage because I'm not going for heavy T1 spam, but just walking my commander forward allows for there to be an imbalance of comms on the northern half of the map. So we do have my buddy Lightbearer, we've got Sub-Q on the other team, we have Barg, and then we have Fiasco. And adding my comm into this mix is going to cause there to be an imbalance of commanders, which is good for my team. Because having 3 commanders versus 2 at the beginning of the game, the commander is the most powerful unit, is going to be invaluable as far as keeping my front line, so Lightbearer and Fiasco here, alive for as long as possible, and even allowing them to hit back. So as you can see, 2 commanders here, we're forcing Sub-Q off of the front line. He's having to tank comm damage from me, and that allows for Lightbearer to get a little bit of breathing room, allows him to get a little bit more spam out, and really all I did with my commander was walk him forward. I'm not investing in any T1 spam in my base. I'm actually focusing a lot on eco, and that is hugely helpful for your front player. So, and it allows him to get some breathing room and go for gun upgrades. I think Fiasco already went for, no, he ended up canceling his gun upgrade, but it allows for you to get your front player to get their gun upgrade, and you can use your stronger economy because you're not going for heavy T1 spam. You can use your stronger economy to help them get their gun upgrade as well. You can see here that I'm assisting his commander in getting gun speed and range. Remember, my primary goal is to make sure that Lightbearer stays alive, and myself, because I walked my comm forward, but my primary goal is to make sure that Lightbearer wins his particular lane. So now, outside of walking your commander forward, which allows a lot of utility, what else can you do kind of in this middle band here? So you could go for a dedicated air position where you rush T3 air, go for ASFs and play for a little bit longer, and go for air superiority and air dominance. But I don't think that that's ideal for this particular position because you do have a good amount of mass that's available to you. I really like going for Tech 2 air and then going for snipes. An alternative that you could go here is going for Tech 2 land really quickly and getting rhinos or Ilshvas, pillars, and mongoose, something like that, out as quickly as possible. So going for Tech 2 air, that's what I decided to do here, getting my initial power grid up, getting a couple of T2 power generators online. But after this, we're going to crank out our gunships. And here we can see that Sub-Q, or Light Bearer, now has a gun upgrade. So does Sub-Q. And I'm seeing that that Light Bearer is once again under pressure, so walking my comm forward to help out as much as I can. So throwing out just a couple of shots. I have a vanilla commander, but I do have overcharge available to me. Just trying to make it as difficult as for Sub-Q as I possibly can to win this particular lane. And the overcharges that I'm throwing out are killing a lot of his T1 units as well, all buying space and time for Light Bearer there. So again, primary goal is to make sure that Light Bearer wins his lane here. And I think I'm definitely an asset just having my commander on the front line. Next thing that we can do to help clinch that, though, is going for T2 gunships. Now, my air player, I believe, Big Bang, going for T2 engineers right now, so not quite at T3 air, but he had a really good T3 air timing. Getting a couple of gunships stacked out. I'm also seeing what Big Bang is scouting. So Big Bang is scouting the scouting Sub-Q's base pretty heavily. I'm not seeing any mobile anti-air, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of interceptors in the area as well. So that means that I can go for T2 gunships relatively safely. I do crank out a couple of interceptors just to make sure that my guys can stay alive. And as far as T2 gunships go, I would recommend going for 6 to 7, somewhere in there, and then resetting your rally point so that additional ones come out to assist. But anyway, Sub-Q on a nano repair upgrade right now. He's in trouble. Sending in the gunships. 6 gunships, more than enough here. Again, setting up a fighter screen with my interceptors. And this is one thing that I did do that I do want to talk about is Sub-Q was in the bag. I knew that there were no interceptors coming, but I also saw Barg over here, and so I grabbed most of my gunships, so 6 of the 7. I left 1 to kill Sub-Q, but then I shifted the rest of my gunships over so they wouldn't die in the commander explosion onto Barg. That allows us to quickly eliminate 2 players from the front line almost immediately. Now, this was an ideal position because neither Sub-Q or Barg had interceptors. Their teammates were a little bit slow to respond. They didn't make mobile AA. That is your ideal scenario for victory. But the concept is the same. If you're in this kind of position where you're towards the front line but not on the front line, primary goal is to help your front line as much as you can. There are multiple ways to do it, like I talked about earlier. You can go for T2 land and start spamming out rhinos and hoplites, or you can go for T2 air, start getting some gunships. But regardless of which way you end up playing it, I think it's incredibly important to walk your comm forward and help out your front line as much as you can. So that's it for this video, guys. Shorter one today. It was mostly just I wanted to talk about how to read a position, and it's not a whole lot to talk about there. So shorter video today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this was helpful in some form or fashion, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.